And it's showtime. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. Time appropriate greetings to you all.
Okay. Well, hello.
Nathan likes drums. Family Love Kitchen.
Well, looky there, Uper Digger.
Howdy. Welcome
So I'm gonna
everyone.
start this out there, Merle. There's a gentleman in this room that has been part of my channel since it started way back when it was a bushcraft channel, and that is Uper Digger.
I was going to guess that.
Looky there, Uper Digger. That is cool. Good to see you, Uper. Glad you could come in here.
Yeah. And I did have a little echo there for a minute, and I turned off YouTube, and I think it went away. Hopefully. It's kind of funny how things work. You just never know.
Very true.
It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. Yesterday, my gosh, it was windy. Oh, man. It was so windy that it was actually dangerous to walk through the yard with the trees.
I actually drove through a snowstorm to go get our new pup.
Oh, about a 2-hour drive, huh?
Yep. I mean, it was a whiteout. It was blizzard conditions. It was not anything fun. But good to see everybody, Nathan. Good to see you, Uber. Family Love Kitchen.
Yeah, there are a
Sybil.
couple there that I need to visit their channels, for sure. Sybil, welcome.
Always good to see Sybil. Eating supper. Andrew's in here. I see High Pulse or Pusa Studios.
Is it me that's confused?
I don't know. See if he shows up.
Let me see here. Oh my gosh. Family Love Kitchen sure has some good eats, I can tell you that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was already subscribed too.
RG, good to see you in the house there, brother.
RG, I tell you what, it seems like I don't know, maybe a half a dozen people. It seems like everywhere we go, we all go together. It's kind of like Q, where we go one, we go all, right?
Yeah, Family Kitchen, I didn't have you, but I do have you now. So I'm a new subscriber to your channel, and I love to eat. Gotta keep this growing boy growing.
Well, it sure looks good. Now, while the rest of the crew is coming in, I better check on Uper Digger here and see what. I'll bet there's some good stuff there too.
Uper Digger was a subscriber to my channel when it was a bushcraft channel, and he's been there ever since.
HD Shovelhead.
Another brother in Christ. He's always a good one to see when they pop in there.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to start visiting his channel a little more often because I'm already subscribed. You know, some of these people, well, you for instance, Mark, I mean, you've got almost 2,000 subscribers, It's,
I got 2,200.
yeah, it's amazing to me that you ever get around to all of them. I mean, it's,
To tell you the truth, I every day I try to pick five, and I go down my list, and I'll watch those five, and that's about all I have right now because all the work I'm doing in overtime. But every day I sit there, I go through and I pick through five people, and it just depends on if one of them has a live stream or something like that. Then I'm stuck on a live stream, but I try to hit them all. Hey, your trolls in here.
hey, Tommy, thanks. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, dude, you're probably a lot better off at church than you are here. I'll give you that.
And it's weird that we are froze up on our VMAX call, but we are not on YouTube, so that's good.
No, it's apparently just something local to you because you're looking good.
Must be
All is
good.
well.
You guys can hear us all good. No one's quiet. No one's extra loud. None of that fun stuff. Look at the war drums.
The war drummer. Well, I tell you guys, Tommy says I am live streaming again for the Lord. You can't beat that. Hi, Sue.
Nope, that's awesome, Tommy. Morning, Sue. Afternoon, Sue. Evening, Sue.
Welcome, Sue.
There you go. Elf Lords is back in the house. Hey guys, great to see you.
No
Oh, I
snow
had it
this
for
week.
you yesterday.
Yeah, we don't need any snow either. I'll tell you, I can't get over that wind we had yesterday, though. It was crazy.
It was a complete whiteout. I mean, it was thick. It was kind of eerie too because the GPS in the truck took us down some real back roads where we knew where we were going. I'm like, well, let's just see where this takes us, and it's down these back roads and country roads, and there are spots in there that were really eerie looking because they're like white all the way through, and it's kind of just a dim color, and you can only see 50 feet in front of you because of the snow blowing and how thick it was. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, it was eerie.
Yeah, I can imagine. Youper, I can't even begin to imagine what that would be like because I just don't know what I would do. Oh gosh,
Well,
I'm so sorry.
I can tell you guys a little bit about Mr. Uper because he can't speak for himself, but he's been by his wife's side since it's been going on since I started live streaming. He's been taking care of his wife and with her illness and everything else, and putting everything on hold for her. So that is the man that sits behind Uper Digger. And after his passing, and after that, to hear him say that it's all good now and he can start living his life is a great accomplishment in my eyes.
Well, anything can happen at any time. So, getting old is not necessarily, the end. But as I get older, I certainly don't want to be here by myself. And having been married to my wife for 50 years, I just don't know what I don't know what I would do. It's just something I don't really like to think about a lot. And Tommy, I'll take those 40s anytime because it was 28, I believe, here this morning.
Hey, and good to see you. Glad. Well, you haven't been missing us or finally catching us, and we just have been kind of gone because I've been working so much.
Yeah, we took about a 3-week break. We had a lot of canning to do, and I and my wife, believe it or not, have been cutting wood for the last, I don't know, about 10 days, and we've got probably 20 more days to go. I did see something nice yesterday, though, and that was a weather forecast that claimed that we were going to have a fairly nice, warmer than usual winter. Now, you know how
No. I heard that you guys were going to have more snow than us, and we were going to have the Jamaican style weather.
Okay, well,
That's what I'm shooting for.
the thing is, you can't trust any of them, so you just kind of got to wait and see.
Paranormal Mama, hello everyone. Hello,
Yes,
hello.
and welcome. We are trying to settle into our. Boy, this must be your lucky day, Paranormal Mama. You've got 777 subscribers, and I almost hate to turn it over to 8. But I will.
So, guys, this is going to be our new time for a while. Obviously, I've been put back to heavy-duty work, and I'm working 6 days a week, so this is going to be my only time to stream. I don't do too much during the week, so this is our new time. So my normal Saturdays that you would always catch me and Merle on are now Sunday afternoons until things calm down at work. But I've been really lacking on videos. We are taking videos, but right now I just don't have the time to produce them and put them out.
Yeah, and if you like to watch people cut wood, boy, we're getting a lot of videos put together. Maybe we can actually put something together that looks decent. But other than that, there's not a lot going on around here. I am one of those guys that spends a lot of time watching to see what Q is doing, and I don't think he has made a post for I want to say about 12 days. So
yeah, RG, I hope that's not correct, but the way it looks, yes, we're going to get hit hard again. So, hey, there's Sister Sandy,
Hi, Sandy K.
Glad you could join us. So I see that the YouTube Messenger is working. I'm glad to see that. The other thing that we wanted to talk tonight about is kind of in the categories of politics again, but there is so much going on in the land that people are forgetting what's going on over with the Chinese and Russia and everything else. They're so worried about the politics, and in 2 weeks we have our midterm elections, which will definitely a good very possibility change the whole outlook of the way this world is. So we really got to make sure that we know the facts to everything. So
yeah,
if we want to go back to
go ahead. Well, I was just going to say that if you try to keep track of everything, it'll drive you nuts. But I don't watch too much of the mainstream news, and most of the news I get through the internet from some people that I trust. However, as Mark was about to say there, I think before I interrupted him, there are some things going on with Russia and China and this, that, and the other. So, some things that we probably go ahead, Mark. I think you were about to touch on that.
It is. It's getting to the point where we really got to be. Not even is the fact that it's biblical what's going on here. The fact is that they're trying to keep us so busy looking at other things to look at what's actually going on in the world. And because you got to remember too is that I don't care if you want to call them what you want to call them, deep state, Democrats, whatever. They're trying to keep us so busy and out of focus because right now they're running so hard to try to stop what's going on here and trying to if it's a fact about I heard raising taxes again, um, taking away Medicare and Medicaid so they're throwing this stuff out there to get people fired up because you think about it as somebody that's 60, 70, 80 years old and you pull Medicaid away from them, what does that do for them? It's a scare tactic.
Yeah, that's.
Hey,
I
good
don't
to
think
see
that's
you.
going to happen, but
No, I don't think it's going to happen either. It's just a scare tactic is all it is.
I had something there that I wanted to read.
Oh, look at there. Two Family Homestead. Here's another one, guys. If you have not checked their channel out, please do. These guys had me on, I want to say like 5 months ago, and they highlight your channel so you get 2 to 3 hours on their live stream, and you get a very, very good shout out. So I would really go and check them out, guys. Two Family Homestead. They're in the chat right now, so if you do not have them, please go and check them out.
Yeah, and if you're real lucky, you can make money watching that channel too. I've got a crisp $2 bill
Yeah.
that came from that show that Mark's referencing there, and hey, who knows? When I get down to that $2 bill, I think it'll be time to do something different. That's for sure. Oh
Yeah,
gosh, here
I'll
it is. Sue said that she saw Trump say that he was working on a tax cut for the middle class and wants to get it put in place before the midterms. Man, I tell you, if he gets that done, I would say it will definitely be a red wave. And that's what we're looking for.
That would be great. Yeah, Alf, you're absolutely right. Everybody's out for themselves, and the deep state are trying to protect themselves, so they're out for blood. The other thing I wanted to talk about today, now that we got off of that, I've been on this soapbox about pets, and there's so many pets out there. We just got one from somewhere down south from us, and it was a rescue dog. It is a Great Dane. He's just about over a year old. But talk about poor shape, undernourished, very, very aggressive dog. And we're trying to help him get a new home and stuff like that. And he's having some issues, and we've been fighting with him for the last 2 to 3 days here, trying to get him and trying to get him home and trying to get him in with the rest of the family in the pack. And I'll tell you what's going on, guys. If you have the ability to adopt, go ahead. But because the shelters are just overwhelmed and they're not being taken care of as well. At least they're not getting euthanized, but at the same time, they're not at their peak. That's for sure.
I think part of the problem with that is money. What do you do if you're a shelter and you only have so much money to get by on? Do you not go ahead and pick up the strays and try to save them? Boy, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that it's heck if you do and heck if you don't. So, but I know what you're saying. I've seen a lot of animals in some of these places that aren't being taken care of right, but the people that work there are making pretty darn good money. So you got to be careful of which ones that you go to visit, I guess.
Yep. I always wanted to have a Great Dane. I think he's got a really good potential. It's just the fact that they're only giving him 2 scoops of food a day. If you read online and stuff like that, they're saying for his age group he should be getting 6 to 10. So I'm kind of gradually raising him up to that point. But anything you put in front of him, he just gets defensive and wants to protect it because he just didn't have that when he was there. And that could have been from wherever he was before he got to the shelter. So, but it's just a sad case of, and maybe the people that had him have a clue what they were getting into. And because Great Danes grow faster than normal dogs, all dogs will grow to about 2.5. Great Danes just grow much faster. So I think the people that originally owned him didn't have an idea what they got themselves into. Yep, truth. St. Bernard eat a lot too.
Yeah, Ann asked why are there so many strays is the question. Yeah, there shouldn't be. There really shouldn't. If people would.
I tried my hardest to get one from Texas, but let me tell you, without giving, I explained it to Merle a couple times on different dogs. You got to give your whole life history, your blood test. You got to get. Yeah, it's just amazing what you got to go through to adopt a dog. It's just about as bad as a kid, if not worse. And we're here to help them, not. But I can understand their point too. They want to make sure they're going to a good home. But some of the stuff that you got to go through to get these dogs is just mind blowing.
Yeah, Truth Freeze. I used to watch some of those dog whisperer vids, and I don't know what happened. Somebody got upset with him on TV, I guess, and I think he's gone to YouTube. But I thought he was pretty good myself. He really knew what he was doing. Seemed like. Yeah,
Yeah.
background checks. No kidding. The whole 9 yards, according to Mark, it was just crazy. I think they wanted to know how much money he had in the bank and how many loans he had, and
They wanted pictures of the house. They wanted pictures of where the dog was going to sleep. They wanted references. My boss had to be one of them. They asked my boss how much I made for income, everything like that.
Sounds like a scam.
It was pretty bad. But he's actually becoming a lot better. The second day has been, as the day comes to an end here, he's been getting a lot better. So I think once he realizes you don't have to fight for his food anymore and his toys are his toys, he'll be a lot better.
I think you're right about that, Sue. Not every training way fits every dog. I really believe that. My daughter raises German Shepherds, and they are she says they're the original working dog. Apparently, there are some breeds of Shepherds that aren't working dogs. They have been bred to look pretty and all that, I guess. I don't know that much about them, but I do know she's got about a dozen of them running loose in a fenced area there, and you want to be real careful unless they know you.
I bet.
It's kind of funny. They had a guy coming over actually to look at a dog one time, and he was an older gentleman. He got out of the car, walked right over to the gate, and he saw all these dogs and opened the gate and walked in. Well, in about 10 seconds, he was minus his pants. They took him right off him.
That's funny. Well, I'll tell you what, as the research that I did, Great Danes can get anywhere from 120 up, and the 120 are the small ones. Apollo right now is 1 year old and he's already 110. And so what's really funny is you want to, if we went to town to get a kennel for him and to size him up, and as you're walking in the town, we have a store that you can actually bring pets into. And it's kind of funny to watch everybody go to the opposite end of the store when you bring this moose in with you. It's kind of neat because they didn't want nothing to do with him. He was good to look at, and everybody that when we were driving by and stuff were stopping and staring, but they didn't want nothing to do with him.
Oh, well, I can't imagine why.
Great to see you.
Dave and Darcy, welcome. We're happy to see you. Hope everything is well with you all. And Sybil, you're right. Around here, it's just like it was up there with you. You pay the adoption fee and you take the dog home or the cat or whatever it is. And I was really surprised to hear Mark tell that story about having to give his life history to adopt that dog. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice because on the web now you can, it's called Pet Finder is where I actually went to, and because of the floods that were down in Texas and in North Carolina and South Carolina, a lot of those pets that were there have been taken away from their families, and now it seems like a lot of them is coming up here to Wisconsin, and because every one of them that I looked at was a Texas rescue. So going that way, I can understand a lot of it, but I mean, we're here to help them out. We're not here to, you know, do anything else, I guess. But and some of the prices that for adoption are just unruly. You know, there's $200, $250, $300 for you to adopt a dog. Now, granted, I know that's not as much as a kid, but still, that's a lot for someone to go and help something else out. So, and then, you know, they always say that their shelters are full, and you know, they're trying to stop the euthanization of dogs and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, wow, you guys are pushing the limits. Thank you, bud.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. At $200 to adopt a dog seems a little crazy to me when they're not really there to make money. They just need to make enough to feed the animals, and at least around here, the people that work there are volunteer.
Come here.
So
Come here.
maybe somebody's making too much money there. Who knows? I don't.
Come here, Paula. Come on. Come here.
Two-seaters. I had something I was gonna ask you, and I for the life of me I can't think of what it was now. But at any rate, we're happy to see you guys here today, and we have got winter moving right in on us. It seems like Mark, he went on a trip yesterday, and I guess in a blinding snowstorm. So that's not something I'm looking forward to here at all.
No. Here, go outside. And
These
everybody
animals,
wants them.
these animals too that have been involved in these hurricanes and the bad weather around the coasts. That has got to be difficult too. I don't know what the problem or what the answer is to that, but I fully suspect a lot of those animals are being moved inland to places that maybe even as far as where we're at, Mark. You're in Wisconsin and I'm in Indiana. I would say there could be some animals coming in from the coast that far.
Yeah, guys, I forgot to say that, and thank you for reminding me. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps out the channels and helps you guys out too. So please don't be afraid to hit that like and give Merle here a thumbs up.
Yeah, that thumbs
It'll be
up.
much appreciated.
I consider that thumbs up just like voting. Vote early and often. So if you have to hit that thumbs up 2 or 3 times, that's okay too.
And like Sybil says, don't forget to switch it over to live chat. Thank you, dear, for reminding me. I forget that.
I did too.
But yeah, to go get it was kind of funny too, because when we went to go pick him up, complete whiteout, the Navy on the truck is telling me to take these stupid back roads, which I knew where to go. I just wanted to see what the Navy says, because when you get into the town, it could be different. But it was just it was a fun ride, and it was a scenic ride, but at some points it was spooky. But after we get everything all done and we get Apollo and we get back in the truck, the sun's out and everything is just perfectly fine. It's just like weird. Oh, Hunter, don't bring them in here. Go back outside. It's been a fun time though with him, and he's been a lot better. His every day gets better and better, so that's always a good thing. Larry Johnson, Thanks for stopping in and glad you could join us. We're talking about adopting dogs.
And
So guys, go please and check out Larry. I subscribed to him a while back already.
Hi, Larry.
You guys will not be disappointed. And I think Merle that you will like him too because he's got some dove hunts and stuff like that. So music, all kinds of stuff. So
looks like all good stuff. And I'm already subscribed too, by the way.
Well, that's good.
And I forgot how to give the wrenches out. That 3-week break just about emptied my brain.
Thanks again for stopping by, Ann, and thanks for leaving it up.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Wish you could stay, though. How'd I give the wrenches out, Mark? I forgot.
If you go onto the right side of their name,
yeah,
and there's the 3 dots that pop up, that's how you give them the wrench.
Okay, well, I gave it to them, but they're just not showing up, I guess.
They will show the next time that they write something into the chat. It'll also show down below that you gave someone a moderator. So like say if you click on Sandy K's name up there and click on the 3 dots, it'll pop up that you've made her a moderator.
We are one of those channels here that makes almost everyone a moderator. And you know what? I've come to the conclusion it really does help too.
Yeah, if you participate in our live stream, especially when we're on the weeks that we're on my channel, we got to remember we flip-flop back and forth. But when we're on mine, you'll see everybody's a moderator. And if you're new to the live streams, I do that for 2 reasons. Because you're also a part of the homesteading family, the group, the whole, our live streams. But at the same time, your input is an important part of a live stream. So everybody should be involved in that, and I've never had any problems. So it's always worked out for us.
Yeah, and I too believe that without the chat, the channel wouldn't be any good at all. So we'll try to get these wrenches out here. Now you guys be careful, because if you drop these big old wrenches on your toe, it's going to hurt. So it looks like I've got the chat all over the place, so no matter which way I look, I'm going to see it. Anyway, maybe it's time to talk about politics. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of politics lately, and I don't know how many enemies am I going to make here, how many people are going to jump off channel, but it seems like, from what I can tell, that Mr. Trump is doing a pretty good job, at least compared to the last one we had. He's at least on our side, I think. But what's going to happen to these 4,000 people, or 5,000 maybe by now, that are going to try to come up to the southern border? I don't know, because I think they've already made it through the southern border of Mexico and they're on their way up. It's kind of, I hate to see that happen right before the election, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. What do you guys think about the thousands of people heading our way? Yeah. Well, I actually watched them getting paid. They were in line and they were getting paid to join that little trip. So, and if you look at them, too, these aren't poor people. Look at the way they're dressed. And look at their bodies. They haven't missed any meals. It don't look to me like. This is just something that, as far as I'm concerned, that George Soros has put together to try to cause us grief right before the election. So, if we do something, if they come up there and some of them have weapons or what have you, and one of them gets hurt, one of them gets killed, it's going to be big trouble.
Hey, Harmony, good to see you in here.
And that's what they're looking for.
Glad you could join us.
Well, I heard. Now, you hear a lot of things, but I heard that he was going to send the real army if they made it this far. He was going to send the army down there and take care of the problem. So, how do you do that? I don't know just exactly.
So, guys, if you're doing a live stream and you want some live music, please go check out Harmony. They do a wonderful thing, and that's allow you to have music for your live streams or whatever you're doing for it. So go check out Harmony. They're in the chat room right now. And like Sister Sandy K says, is smash that like button. We appreciate it. Family Loves Kitchen. Hello to you too.
We are, if I get quiet here, I'm just trying to check to make sure that I've got everybody subscribed to. Usually I do. But in this case, I was not subscribed to Harmony. And upon Mark's suggestion,
Harmony, yeah,
I am now.
Harmony is a good channel to be on. There's a lot of people out there that do this, that spend a lot of time making music that you guys can share on your live streams. You got Technotic Beats, you got Harmony. There's a lot of them out there. And what's really cool with Harmony and Technotic Beats is that you're guaranteed not to get a copyright strike for playing something that you're not supposed to do. So, like I said, guys, I'm looking out for your best interest and stuff like that, and these are channels that I would recommend going to. So, they're my soapbox stand.
I agree with you, Sue. At some point in time, I think we're going to have some kind of a martial law. It may not be martial law as you would think. It may be something that's not quite as restrictive, but I do look for some type of martial law before this is all settled and over with.
Okay. Right.
The deep state they're in shambles. They're scared to death because everything, every which way that they try to go, it seems like Trump and his generals are one step ahead of him. So, what was it? Hillary lost her classified abilities this week, I think it was, and her and 5 other people, if I'm not mistaken. And they are arresting lots of people, too, by the way, that aren't getting talked about very much. I still can't figure out what the deal is with Rosenstein, though. Rosenstein, or whatever it is. Trump's not saying anything bad about him, but he was supposed to have wanted to go in to the president undercover wearing a wire and see if they couldn't get him on the 25th Amendment. So, and then what was it, a few days ago, Rosenstein was invited to take a ride on Air Force One and go to a law enforcement rally of some kind. So we all thought that was kind of funny too.
Hey Merle, I gotta go. I gotta feed Apollo here, so I'll be back in a little bit. I just want to let you guys know what's going on, and then we got the two other boys are coming up to visit him, so I'll be popping in and out here, buddy.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. They killed a whole plane of generals years ago when Clinton was in. Yeah, I remember that, I believe. I don't think the generals have any pity for the deep state. Oh, no, 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 I don't. I'm definitely sure they don't. But they really seem to be, from what I can tell anyway, they seem to be like they are 2 steps ahead of everything that the dirty Democrats want to do. Now, you know, they're like any other group of people. There's some nice people out there that are Democrats. But I'll just call them all deep state, I guess, because there's some things that I hear that they are doing that would make you sick if you just knew about all of it. Trump probably wanted to know if he would get on the plane. Yeah, kind of makes you wonder, though. You know, you don't really know. It's kind of confusing as to who's on whose side, to be perfectly honest. I think some of those guys they've promised that they won't send him to the guillotine, so they've probably turned. A lot of them have, and it's interesting. To me, it's like reading a book. You know, when Q is active, at least you can, and whether it's a computer or not, I don't know, but I think it's a real guy. I always want to think that it's General Flynn, because he's, for some reason, just turned out to be one of my favorite guys. And, yeah, Harmony, they want to turn America into a borderless, failing country. That is an absolute fact. And if Trump hadn't got elected, that's probably what we would have had by this 2 years into it now, because Obama had it all set up and ready to go. Though, I don't think he was smart enough to do it. I think he was taking orders from somebody else. But I feel good about Trump. I mean, he may not be everybody's favorite guy because he's a little rough and he's a little brash, but, as far as I can tell, for this old guy, he's doing all the things that we would have done back in the 50s, so I can't complain about it. And don't get me wrong, he everything that he does is not something that I agree with, but still. That last war drummer had a whole Q page that he said most people didn't notice when it first came out. Stop the video at that point, enlarge, and read that Q post. I will. And I've seen that at least once. But you know what, Sue? I watch so many of them, I get them confused. Everybody that does a Q post, I watch it. And Serial Brain, too. Sue says, I think Jesus was rough and brash, too. Well, sure he was. Yeah, he upset the tables in the temple there, didn't he? Or wherever they were collecting money. And, I don't see anything wrong with that. Sometimes you got to get a little brash. That's a pretty good word. I like that. You got to get a little brash if you're going to get things done. Yeah. That's why I like him too, because he's not a typical politician. As far as I'm concerned, he's not a politician. He is one of us. He really is. He may have a little more money, but he thinks the same way we do, and he wants to keep our country safe and solid. I just got no real big complaints there at all. Look how hard he's working, too, to try to help these other people in the GOP get elected. He's doing about 4 of these rallies every week. I can't even imagine doing that. And he's as old as I am, I think. He's 70, 71, somewhere along in there. And what more can you say, you know? Mark, did you get everybody squared away? Nobody got bit?
Well, I got the main one here. So I'll see if he'll pop up here. This was his feeding time. Come here. You gonna come up here to say hi to everybody? No? Okay. Be that way. I got the main one fed, and then the boys are gonna be coming over to meet him. But that's other things too, guys. Is one thing with the Great Danes is they're very protective of their home, and we noticed right away that he has become very protective of this home, and we want to make sure that when Dawn's other 2 boys come over, that he doesn't go ballistic. So this is the first time they're meeting. So I'll be hopping out here because he's so big that Dawn can't even control him. Come on.
Yeah, Truth Freeze.
Yeah. My buddy Sam said, we're starting to get him some fish oils and trying to get him fattened up, because you can see his ribs and his whole his backbone. You can see, so we're trying to get that good meat on him. I had some leftover grass-fed grass. I shouldn't say grass-fed, but grass-finished. No, I said that wrong. Grass. Free-range Red Rangers, and we had some leftovers, so we gave that to him.
Truth Freeze, I'm kind of with you. She says, I don't put a whole lot of stock in any president, but imagine, don't, if H got in. I can imagine it would have been a continuation of what had already been started for the 8 years prior, and we couldn't have stood it. There's just no way. I was so tickled to see him take us out of the TTP treaty, which would have put someone else in charge of the people that live in this country. I just couldn't stand it. And I had already made up my mind, when the blue helmets show up, it's time for me to do something different. And yeah, that was a bad one. It really, really was. And I was scared to death that it was already going to get pushed through somehow or another before Trump got in. Which, I'm one of those guys that actually believes that the good Lord sent him to run as president to try to help our country and bring it back to a good country with plenty of jobs and plenty of Christians. And that's what I'm all about. Might as well be honest, right?
Yeah, Truth Freeze, that is too, is, politicians, no matter who they are, they're all kind of, in my eyes, in my opinion, dirty. So there's the trust issue there. You're absolutely right. They got to gain my trust. And there isn't a politician out there that has done that yet. But I do admit that Trump has made some headway in some areas. And I just hope and pray every day I wake up and say, I got to do another day. I'm still alive. But we got to do with what is dealt with. So. But even like Sue said, yes, even the Democrats know who God is and intervene. You got to remember, too, is the devil knows God very well. And he knows everything part of that. And so this whole politics, the whole system is dirty. I just hope that we have some kind of reassurance and something restored here before it gets really bad.
I do know that there are a lot of people out there that are they're saying right now, when are some of these people going to get arrested? Well, the problem is, at least as I understand it, you got to get rid of the bad judges, and you got to start somewhere. And boy, it takes a lot of time when there are so many of them. I mean,
Well, you hit it right on the spot. There's a lot of people out there saying, "How come the Clinton Foundation and Hillary and the other one has not been taken care of or put under the spotlight? And how can they do this and how can they do that?" And I think that's why the system in our society are so up in arms right now, is because they see that so many of these politicians got away with so much that they're like, there's nothing, there's no hope, there's nothing out there to help. But it will come, and even though a lot of people don't like that, but the true and the righteous do come out ahead in the end. So,
yeah, amen to that. And Sybil, I am so happy to hear what you just said. Well, no, Trump has brought God back into our country. Our schools here in Texas have morning prayer, which was taken away for so many years. I am so happy to hear that. And
so am I. So glad. It's great.
When I went to school, the first thing we did every morning was say the Lord's Prayer and give pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Exactly. Yep. I was just going to say that. Yep. Hit it right on the head there, bro.
If we can get that back, we're on the right track. It just, the biggest thing that worries me is Trump's safety. I know that he's got the best of the best trying to protect him, but boy, it only takes one guy not watching what's going on. And I read somewhere where he gets an attempt on his life like twice a week. So those guys are really, they're putting their lives up for us. So you just can't ask much more of those guys than that.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Sue. Is if the investigation on her isn't exactly to the T, she will walk. I just hope that there's enough of the emails and other stuff and the fraud in the foundation that will lock them two in. But there's so many, like Merle said before, there's so many of these politicians and judges that are on everybody's paybook, and it's unreal. And I think this person that's sitting next to me kept on telling me to listen to Q posts and everything like that. And like he said in there, when the veil is lifted of what is actually going on here, there's so many people in this world that are going to be mind-boggled and blown away because they have no idea how dirty and how deep this rabbit hole actually goes. And somebody's also said that we can't even fathom of the dirt that each one of these politicians have on each other. So this might take a while, guys, but it is going to come to a head.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. It is going to take a while. And some people are expecting some high value arrests before the election. I don't think it's a good idea personally, though it would make a lot of us feel good. I know there's going to be some chaos in this election anyway, no matter which side wins. If we win, the left is going to go nuts, and if they win, they're going to go nuts because they won. So it's going to be difficult. I've had people tell me, I heard a guy say yesterday, I think he was in Portland, which is probably enough said already, but he said if you walk down through this city with an American flag, you can depend on ending up bloody when you get to where you're going. Well, that's crap. It can't be that way. We've got to stop some of this stuff. And Antifa, let me talk about them for just a second. Most of those
Sorry, Merle,
people.
I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna go and meet the boys here. So I'll be right back,
All
guys.
right, hurry back. Most of those people from Antifa, they're like mercenaries. They do whatever they're paid to do. You can ask them a question and they have no idea what the answer is. You watch them on any of these programs on YouTube, not to even mention mainstream television, but they don't know what they're talking about. All they're there is for the money. Just like those 5,000 people that are on their way up here to cause us trouble. I wouldn't care. I'd be happy to help somebody that needed help. But I'm not much into what I call paid mercenaries, and that's just exactly what they are. The boys on the track are just a blip. So anyway, I guess I've pretty much had my rant. But as I watch the truthful people that are on YouTube that do the Q posts and some of them that give you the true scoop on the news, you kind of come around to a way of thinking, and you wonder, well, why didn't I hear this on CNN or what have you? I think there was a time when CNN was a pretty good channel to watch. But it's kind of like Mark said a while ago, you have got so many people that have been blackmailed and paid off that there's nearly nobody that could be trusted. So it almost takes forever to get rid of them. They've probably still got people in the White House that are leaking, although I think they're pretty close to getting that cleaned out. Clinton's invited Tiananmen Square generals to visit our military bases and give it a royal treatment. Yeah, and look how 97% made in China products we have now. It's getting a little better, more and more made in America. And it will get better, too. And some of these trade deals that people said would make everything cost so much that we couldn't stand it. Well, so far, I haven't seen anything all that bad, and he's already made some of those deals. Yeah, we're having some problems with trying to get together with China, but everybody knew that was going to happen. They've been kind of putting it to us for how many years now? They send in everything that they want to and steal the all of our products and make them and send them back to us. And I probably have been guilty of buying some of it myself, to be honest. I got a Chinese chainsaw, believe it or not. Cost me I bought it used from a guy that needed some money. I think it was $105 new, and I bought it from this guy for $60, $65. And believe me, it was a pretty good deal. But, that's not fair. That's not fair to the American worker to send a chainsaw like that over here for $100. So he's doing some things I think that needed to be done. Yeah, back before the 70s, almost everything was made in the USA, and if it didn't say made in the USA, most people wouldn't buy it. I remember personally when it wasn't China that you had to worry about, it was Japan. Because we used to say, this Chinese or this Japanese piece of junk, and a lot of it was. It really was. Well, I'm going to go paint a picture and distress. See you next week. Okay, Elf Lord, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. We're always glad to see you. Yeah, and don't forget the Locked and Loaded live stream on Friday. I forget the time. Justin had one, I think it was a kind of spur of the moment thing the other night that was really, really good too. A lot of politics in that one. I enjoyed it. I may have talked too much, but it was enjoying anyway. Sybil says, it's like in World War II when we had sold our aluminum to Japan and they turned around and bombed us with it. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful for sure. Locked and Loaded is going to have an auction to help me out with something I'm having trouble with. Well, tell us more, Sue, so we can all participate and maybe we can make it better. We would like to. And if you know when the auction is going to be, let us know about that too. Now Japan is tech pros of the world. They worship tech and they look where they are. Yeah, the robot sex toys. I don't even have an answer for that. I really don't. It sounds crazy to me. But you'd be surprised what kind of crazy people there are out there that will, thank you, Sandy K, that will spend gazillion dollars for something like that. And we all know that that can't be right, for sure. Mark will be back in a minute. He was having some company drop in about this time, and he's been a little concerned about that new dog not getting along with everybody, and he's I guess trying to make sure that that they don't have any big problems between it and the dog they already had. We've been selling our copper and other metal for years. Yeah, and our uranium too. What was it? 20% of our uranium went to Russia. Now, what kind of a deal was that? I'm not so sure that they asked anybody if that was okay. You would have thought that that would have had to have gone through Congress, you'd think. Yeah, Truth Freeze, I stopped taking vaccines, I don't know, 15 years ago, I guess. And I think I'm probably in better shape for it. Okay, Sue says, I had a deal with the kids. They were supposed to help me with my taxes because I signed a paper that they get this place when I die. And we've done the same thing here, by the way. They've gotten mad at me and left me high and dry, and that's terrible. I do want to participate in that, Sue, so, and I think I told Justin too, so when that comes around, I will try to advertise it and anything else that I can do. Hillary Mueller Comey and what's her name? at the DOJ. Yeah, what's her name? I can't think of it right now either. Did the uranium deal. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I believe Mueller carried a sample to Russia, as a matter of fact. And tell me how that's going to work out. When the declassification comes, that's when you're going to see lots of people that you thought could never be touched get arrested. I honestly believe that. And I know a lot of you are going to say, I'll believe it when I see it. But I do believe it'll happen. So it is Friday. Okay, good. That's what we wanted to know. And I forget what time his live stream is. So if you can get that to us, that'll help us too, Sue. Yeah, he carried it. He sure did. He carried that sample of that uranium right straight over there. Walter Davis, thanks for stopping in. Always glad to see you. I thought I had a partner, but he apparently took off and left me here all by myself. No, he's had some people come to visit, and we knew they were coming, and he's got a new dog, and gosh, he's got more troubles than most of us, I think. One thing that we don't have is the snow that they had where he is this morning. They had, it was blinding snow, I guess, this morning around 10-ish or something like that. I tell you something else, too, that's kind of funny. My wife just won't give up on the garden. She's been out there for the last 3 days covering things up so they won't freeze. I said, when are you going to give up? She said, when I have to. Okay, Sue, we will. We'll watch Locked and Loaded to figure out what the time frame's going to be. And Two Cedars wants to help too. That's one of the nice things I like about this group of people that we got. So many people try to help one another, and can you imagine what it would be like if we all lived in the same state or something like that? We could be like it was back in the old days when, you know, somebody's barn burnt down, everybody got together the next day and built a new one. Those were some pretty good days, I bet. Tooth freeze. I warned my father-in-law not to take the flu shot. He quoted Hank Williams. Too fast, too late. Yeah. I don't know. I've just already heard too many bad things about those vaccines. And you know, children, by the time they're age 8, have taken 71 doses of 17 different vaccines. There's just no way that could be good for you. I mean, and the autistic children are increasing just almost by the day. They predict that in another about 10 years that, and I know this is going to sound crazy, that 50% of the children born will have some sort of autism. So I can't, I just can't believe that these vaccines are good for anybody but the people making the money off of them. If you're in the medical field, they make it mandatory. They sure do. And, well, you know, it's kind of like the medical profession. You know, if you get cancer, don't you think you ought to be able to do whatever you think you should do to try to help yourself with that cancer? Apparently, they don't believe you're smart enough to do that. You have to take whatever they offer you. You can't you can't have Laetrile or some of the things that were some of the other things that were that are known to be good for cancer. You have to you got to take whatever they're going to give you. I don't. And on top of that, the people that make the vaccines are not liable for anything that happens to you from taking those vaccines. There is no way that you can sue them for anything. I'm trying to think about when that happened, but it was, I want to say it was in the 90s or something like that. They went to their cronies and the people in Congress and told them they just couldn't continue to do that anymore, and with the chances of being sued. So they just let them have it. It's crazy. I do look for things to get better instead of worse, though. Hopefully. The swine flu scare in 2009 and 2010 vaccines had deadly bioweapons, and Baxter and Ukraine had to pull it. It was going worldwide, and yeah, I can believe that for sure.
All right, that went better than I thought.
Yeah, well, we were just getting ready to close up. So
he's pretty good. He's good with people, but he's just not with other animals. So
I can't blame him. He doesn't know where he's at yet, and how he's going to get treated, and whether he's going to have to fight for his food and all that. You know, he'll be all right.
Yep.
And we were talking about Sue. They're Locked and Loaded is going to have some kind of an auction, I think, next Friday, to help her with her financial problem.
That is awesome.
So we're trying to get the word out for that, and I hope they're auctioning off a gun or something or other like that. That'd be cool. As she says, I have another child who won't talk to me because I can't help but talk about how good God is and how I like Trump. She's a Wiccan with derangement syndrome. Well, I wish you luck with that. I sure do. But I tell you what, I got some grandkids that I can't talk to because they've been, their minds have been warped by the school system. And the more education they get, the worse they get. So I don't know what to say about that either. I do think things are going to get better, though, instead of worse. I pray for it, and I believe it'll happen. What do you reckon, Mark?
I was just reading there Monty's comment there. It says, so I know President Trump has shut down the most pedophile rings out there of any president, and I'm grateful for that. But he also has some satanic worship as well. And, you know, that's the thing is, if you guys want to go check out, it's called Bohemian Grove. And you're going to see some people down there that you wouldn't expect. And it's just like going to see Georgia Guidestones or any of those other things. The information is out there if you want to do the research and want to find out the information that's out there. Because the deep state has to tell you what they're going to do. That's a wonderful thing. You just have to be able to read between the lines. And there's enough people out here now that are tired of what's going on, and they're explaining it in layman's terms for me, as I'm a layman. But it's out there. You guys can find this stuff out.
Yeah, it's out there for sure. And this is something that I wanted to tell you too, by the way. I heard a guy, and I can't tell you who it was right now, but I heard a guy talking about Bohemian Grove and Trump. And what he said was that Trump went there one time and he could not get out fast enough. So,
Well,
believe whatever you want to.
I would say the same thing because no, not only that, but if you guys, and I understand, Alex Jones is a hype artist, and I know there's a lot of people out there that say he's out there to promote this and promote that, and you can believe what you want to believe, but I did watch the video with him at Bohemian Grove, and what I saw there, I wouldn't want to show my kids, and I wouldn't want to have them be a part of what was going on there, let alone saying that, hey, look at there, that's one of our presidents. Look at that one, that's one there. So what everybody wants to say and wants to know about that, you can find it out. It's all over the internet. But there is some truth with every lie, there is truth behind it. Okay? So you just have to read between the lines. And that's pretty sad to say too, about reading between the lines, because we shouldn't have to. And the other thing, guys, that I want you to realize is that every other country is saying, hey, Americans, why don't you wake up? Hey, Americans. Everybody else knows about it.
Yeah, but in those other countries, they're just as asleep as we've been. They're
Yeah.
they don't. A lot of them don't realize that the deep state in their countries are just as bad as ours, and that our deep state people makes deals with their deep state people, and it's a worldwide phenomena. It's not just here.
Yeah. So it's in cartoons. It's all over the place. I mean, you got to remember they are told that they have to tell what's going to happen, and it's with the entertainment, it's with the news, it's with music. It's all out there. You just have to be able to look at it. And I just choose to no longer have regular TV and no longer, go to that kind of entertainment, music, whatever industry. So I'm kind of left out of the loop. I count on the people that I know that are truthful on YouTube to give me my information. But it's out there.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that we can do right now, and that is if you find somebody you like on YouTube and you can verify, what they say in a week's time, if you can verify that they're telling the truth, you can pretty much tell that they're going to be okay. And if you pick out two or three, or in my case, a dozen people that you trust and you're going to get the straight scoop from, boy, believe me, you're so much better off listening to those guys than you are to mainstream media. Even Fox News used to be that was the place for people like us to go. And then they went nuts there for a while. They were as bad as anybody else. Now they seem to be getting a little better. So, if they can't figure out what they are, I don't think I want to watch them. Yeah, truth freeze. That's why we're here. We're here to talk amongst ourselves and give each other the good information. Exactly.
Anybody for a dog fight?
That's unlawful, by the way.
These guys are just at each other's throats.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Hey,
why.
can you imagine? I can't. It's hard for me to really make myself believe, and I know it's true, that they're using fetal tissue in our food as flavor enhancers. I mean, it's a fact. They actually admitted to it. And I think many of the soft drinks and juice drinks and stuff like that is where a lot of it is. So that's why I drink water. And I even filter it. So, and that's another thing, that we haven't talked about for a while. And that is that there's probably going to be some kind of a currency change or a reset of some kind that's going to cause money to be hard to come by sometime within now and the next couple of years, so I'm hearing. But the thing is we need to be prepared for it, and whatever you can afford to put in your pantry that'll last you for 3 months, 6 months, or a year or more, that's probably one of the most important things you can do right now. Walter says bourbon is still pure. Well, and that's another thing too. Mark and I were talking about, we don't drink, but it wouldn't hurt to have a case or two of half pint bottles of I don't know what, maybe vodka or something like that you could use for wounds and
I think it'd be a really good idea to have some vodka, some whiskey, and some brandy, because those things there are going to be huge for not only for wounds and stuff like that, but that is a good bargaining chip. So that's not too far off to what's going on. And Merle came up with a good idea, because I said, I'll just go buy a case of some cheap stuff. But then he's like, well, you don't want to give all them big bottles because it's a waste. So he's right. You got to look at what you're going to do, because it'd be real simple for me to go and do that. But then, you're out half a gallon or whatever else, and you're wasting what you have. So
yeah, I kind of think that the little bottles are the way to go, especially for bartering. And there's a lot of people still smoke cigarettes and they just can't do without them. So stuff like that. And if you can, something that's kind of easy to do for most people is to save change. If you can save quarters, dimes, and nickels, and put them in a jug when you come home at night or what have you, those are probably going to be worth more than dollar bills.
Yep.
I don't believe paper currency is going to be any good, but I do think that you'll be able to buy stuff with coins. So that's something a lot of people don't talk about. Yeah, any product that has the words flavor enhancer has fetal tissue in it. Yeah. That's scary.
Well, you got to think about it too. Is you look at one of the biggest soft drinks that's out on the market right now. We're not going to say any names because, it'll come back and bite us. But this soft drink company is not allowed in China, Russia, UK, because they made it illegal because of the health problems that comes with it. But it is a number one drink in the U.S.
Yeah. If you'll take a look at what is allowed in and out of Russia, you'll find that what's allowed in is stuff that's good for you, and what's not allowed in is not. They don't allow, in Russia, there's no GMOs and there's no microwave ovens. That's just two things that I could think of right at the bat. But there are several more things that It, if he if Putin doesn't think it's good for you, you're not going to get any.
Well, buddy, it's almost 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna have to cut out short to help with the pooch here and the stuff that goes around here.
It's about that time,
long?
and we wish you luck, Mark, with your new dog. And I don't have any doubt that he's going to be okay. It's just going to take a little while. And
yeah, he's like a loaded 357, and just it's like boom
with the hammer back.
Yeah, with the hammer, exactly, with that hammer back. I know don't get me wrong. I know that Great Danes are wonderful dogs, and I know that they're loving and caring and they're kind. But it's the fact that how this boy was treated prior to, with his growth and everything like that, and I think that is the 99.9% of the reason why he is the way he is right now. And it's just going to take some love and some caring and some training to get him out of that mindset. But that's exactly what it is. It's like a 357 with a hammerback, because he's ready to go all the time.
Yeah, but he'll get better. I believe he will. Thanks again, guys, for showing up and at our new time. And apologies again for missing 3 weeks. We're going to, both of us, I think, are going to try to get some videos out and just try to do better than we have. But by the same token, it's just because we've been busy. So,
Yeah, it's just, I've been working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. I can't even think about things right now. And it's just tremendous amount of more time than what I had before. And it is so easy to get, into a groove. And when you come out of that groove, there's nights I get up and I get home and I'm thinking I'm going to bed right away, and I can get up in the morning and do something, and my head's turning still from work, and I've got stuff on my mind. I look at the ceiling, and it's just something else. But now with this new guy, I've got to push myself to get up so I can get up in the morning with him and try to get him out, and do the things that we got to do. Hey, no.
Thank you.
See, he's
Thank
already
you,
wrecking my door.
Fusion 11. Thank you. And we, see, the wife and I are 10 minutes away from where we cut wood. So we get up and we do the things we got to do around here, and then we go cut wood for usually 3 to 4 hours. And that's about all we want, for maybe 5 days a week. But we've got like, I don't know, 10 more ricks of wood to get cut. And I'd like to get some ahead. So, and then we've got this 70-foot greenhouse that we need to get up too. And I'd like to get it up so we can use it towards spring. So plenty to do around here, but not a lot to do that is going to give you a very good or a huge amount of video, but we're going to try to get some at least anyway. Thanks again, guys.
And Fusion, before we go here, I got you, brother, and our sister, and I gave you a subscribe to your channel, so I will be there to check you out and watch some of your videos. But thanks everyone for coming. God bless, and be safe. Take care.
And come back and see us next time if you can. Have a good week. And if I don't, I meant to put my email address on, and I will try to get that done. Anything you think we need to know, please give me an email.
And here's mine, guys, too. So you that are new can come check us out.
Yeah, Dave, I wish you could be here to help us too.
Mallard Farms, I did grab you too before I left here. And this is kind of short, guys. It's just because I got the new pup here, and everybody coming in, so it's been a rough couple days here, but it's not our normal thing. So you guys all take care. Hey, sports fan, she's coming in as we're leaving.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah. Well, at least she showed up. She, I bet she's going to give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It helps out Merle's channel tremendously, and it helps out yours too. So don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up.
I'll see some of you on, let's see, tomorrow evening on Two Cedars Micro Farm at, I believe it's 8 o'clock Eastern. So take care, everybody. God bless, and have a good evening.
Take care, y'all.